Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video with the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Milkshake. So let's see how this works. So I'm getting a pretty late start in the day on this wear test. I'm going to be testing out the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Milkshake. This looks to be like a pale yellow tone foundation. I'm really excited about this. When I put it on the back of my hand, it blended in seamlessly. I'm really hoping it's going to match my chest and my neck perfectly. For those of you who don't know, I have rosacea and I also have a little bit of seborrheic dermatitis and some eczema, so I don't have perfect skin. My skin has a pink overtone from my rosacea, while my neck and my chest are more like neutral to neutral yellow. So I'm very, very hopeful that this color will be a perfect match for me. I've already put on SPF, but I am going to put on Too Faced Hangover Primer. This is a water-based silicone-free primer. It is great for dry, sensitive skin like mine. Oh, and that's another thing, if you don't know, I have dry skin. So what I'm looking for in a foundation is, number one, a foundation I don't have to add white to. That would be amazing. Number two, I'm looking for a formula that is great for my dry, sensitive skin. That means it needs to not irritate my skin. Number three, I like light to medium coverage, so I prefer not to have full coverage. I don't like anything that looks like a mask. That's just not my taste. And I would like it to last 8 to 10 hours. Now, I don't normally do this, but you requested it. I'm going to apply one half of my face with this foundation brush from Real Techniques and the other half with a damp beauty blender. I did about 1/2 to 3/4 of a pump, and I'm just gonna kind of like dot this along the left side of my face and go in with the brush. This foundation has a super, super strong perfumey scent. But I do feel like a little bit goes a long way with it. Like it blends out forever. I'm gonna grab this little brush to kind of get around my eyes and my eyebrows much better. I don't know that I like how it looks applied with the brush, but that's just me. The perfume scent of this foundation is really strong, and if you have migraines triggered by scent, I would probably skip this because this smells like a very sweet floral to me. It's almost sickening. I feel like the Beauty Blender side looks much better than the brush side. I'm gonna go back with just a little bit more product around my under eye area. Yeah, I definitely prefer the side that I applied with the Beauty Blender, and I did go back over the side a little bit with the Beauty Blender. I know some of you on Instagram asked me to do this. I'm going to swatch it on my chest and on my neck and show you what it looks like blended out. In my opinion, this is a perfect match for my skin tone, at least right now. I don't know if it's gonna oxidize or change after it dries down, but it blended into with my neck and I can't even see where it's at, and I feel like it did a really good job of blending in with my chest as well. I think I'm at least going to set the center of my face with my Kat Von D Lock-It Powder in Fair, because the center of my face is where stuff always breaks down anyways, so I'm just setting like, I guess my T-zone. I feel like if I think because I did 2 layers under the eyes, it's like really emphasizing fine lines, especially on the side where I used the brush first, so that's not good. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in so you can see what it looks like up close. We're gonna get uncomfortably close. There's a tiny little bit of cakiness, but this is where I have seborrheic dermatitis, so that's to be expected even though I exfoliated and used my medication. I think this side looks much better, but if I squinch up, you can see where it's kind of like in the fine lines. So I don't know, we're gonna see how this wears throughout the day. I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup and then I'll be right back. I finished putting on the rest of my makeup. I put on Physicians Formula Murmur Butter Bronzer. I used Milani's Rosa Romantica Blush. I used the Over Naked Tutorials White Highlighter for my highlight, ColourPop Brow Pencil. And for my lips, I used Flower Beauty Naked Petal, something like that. Pretty simple makeup otherwise. And even where I didn't set the foundation, it feels like it's mostly dry, and I feel like it looks, I don't know, mostly matte, more matte than radiant. It's supposed to have like a radiant finish, but this doesn't look like a radiant dewy finish to me. This looks pretty matte. I do feel like the foundation is set on my skin. I'm gonna zoom in one more time for you. Like I said, like I mentioned before, I feel like it's kind of emphasizing the fine lines around my eyes, like especially if I smile or squinch, you can see lines going on. There's a little bit of cakiness right here, but I almost always have cakiness there because of my skin. Otherwise, I think it looks good. I like the color match a lot. I really, really love the color. I'm gonna insert swatches of this foundation next to some other foundations of mine. This is the NARS foundation stick in Siberia. This is the Huda Beauty Milkshake. This is Eden Minerals Urine. And this is Kat Von D Light 41. The time is 2:50 p.m., so I'll be back to check in another couple hours. It's 6:51 p.m. It's been a little over 4 hours since my initial application, and I think overall it looks pretty good. There's a couple areas that I don't think look good, and I'm gonna get uncomfortably close and show them to you. All right, so here by my eyes, it's settled into the fine lines, and it's emphasizing fine lines that I don't really think are normally visible. This cakiness I almost always get from every foundation, so I don't think that's necessarily a big deal. I do find it's emphasizing like my smile lines, like right around here. Same thing on this side, same thing with my forehead. But other than that, I feel like it looks pretty good. I haven't had any breakthrough where I set it, and I did set it through my T-zone just because that's where I typically have my foundation wear away. I guess I'm gonna touch up. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder and Fair, and I'm gonna touch up with that just now. And literally, I'm only touching up right there. I think otherwise, you know, it looks pretty good. This might have been able to be mitigated if I didn't do 2 layers, so next time when I put this on, I'm gonna skip that. As far as the shade match goes, I did notice when it finally dried down, it looked a little peachy, but I think that works with my skin tone because I feel like you can't see it all where I applied it on my chest, you can't see it all where I applied it on my neck, and I feel like the line between my face and my neck is seamless. I've checked it in multiple lighting conditions. I feel like you might see a little bit more warmth in my face than you do on my neck and chest, but it's very, very subtle, so I feel like this is a really good match. In terms of color, I feel like this is most similar to the Eden Minerals Urine Foundation, except that this has more pigmentation. So while that one I think blends absolutely seamlessly, this one might be just a hair bit more visible because it's like a hair more warm. It's definitely not as cool toned as Kat Von D Light 41, which Kat Von D Light 41 is like a cool neutral. It's like a neutral that leans slightly cool or whatever, but it's not a pink tone neutral, so I really like how it looks on my skin as well. I'm really happy with this. I haven't been itchy. And that's usually a sign I'm gonna break out, is if I get itchy from fragrance. There's been no itchiness going on. I still may see a breakout. I have to wear this product several days back to back to back to see if that's gonna happen, but so far it hasn't happened, so I'm thrilled because I really wasn't sure what was gonna happen. The fragrance for it does finally die down, but I mean, I think it takes at least an hour. I don't remember exactly when I stopped noticing the smell from the foundation, but it took a while. And as I mentioned before, it's a very floral fragrant, it's a very sweet floral fragrance to me. So if you're one of my friends like Rachel or Lila, and you're sensitive to scent, you're gonna probably want to avoid this because it is a very overpowering scent. All right, I will be back in a couple of hours for my final check-in. Okay, so it's 10:54 and I'm doing my final check-in. It's been just a little bit over 8 hours and I feel like the foundation has held up really well. Like I mentioned, I've had the problems under my eyes where I feel like it emphasized lines, a little bit of cakiness right here. I feel like it looks like it's doing a tiny bit of breakdown just right here on either side of my nose. I'm going to get uncomfortably close so you can check it out. My blush, contour, and highlight have held all day. I did not use a setting spray with this, and I do normally use setting spray, but I feel like having not used a setting spray, it still looks really good. I'm gonna have to try and wear it multiple times to see if it causes me to break out. So far, I haven't broken out, but that doesn't mean anything. The Huda Beauty foundation does contain fragrance. It also has argan oil and it has alcohol. I know that any of those three can be an irritant for some people, so it could cause problems. Personally, my skin loves argan oil, so I was kind of surprised and happy to see it in there. The alcohol, I wasn't sure if it would cause me issues or not. Normally, fragrance always causes me issues, so that made me a little nervous, but so far I haven't had a problem. We'll see after I've done it for 3 days. So for my first impression of this foundation, I am gonna say I'm pleasantly surprised and I like it. I think the shade match is pretty good. It's near perfect. I love that I don't have to add white to it. It gives a lot of coverage. I would say it has more of a matte finish than a radiant finish, like a dewy finish. It does seem to have a pretty good shade range too, and I don't think the price point is bad. I will be following up with a review in a few days, so please be sure to let me know what you think of my first impressions of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share. And if you haven't already, click the little subscribe button down below so you never miss a video or my poodles. Thanks so much for watching.